Hi, I'm Mark.
Welcome to
Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to another coffee break catch-up. We're delighted to be here. It's another rather wet Thursday afternoon here in Scotland, where I hope the sun is shining wherever you are. Now, before we get on with today's show, we've got something to share with you. Let's have a look.
Welcome to another video from Coffee Break Languages. Today it's a little bit different because this is a video that we're starting today, but it's going to take a few weeks to complete because what we're doing is setting out a new room in our offices, and this new room is going to be our video studio where we're going to be making lots of new coffee break videos. So today we're just measuring things out, trying to get an idea of what it will look like, and we thought that we would start this video and put together a video over the next few weeks as we create the video studio, and you can come along for the ride. At the moment, this is a makeshift breakfast bar type thing. Basically, we're going to have a breakfast bar built here, and it's going to be where we're going to have a coffee so that you can join us for a coffee break. We're just trying to kind of measure out the height at the moment to get a feel for where the cameras will go, because we need to think about the cameras too. Another trip to IKEA, this time to pick up some rugs to help with the soundproofing, and also some artificial plants to make things look a little bit fresher. So the next stage is to have the shelves up, and then the lighting brackets and the mic bracket, and then just do all the remaining connections. We're still to do sound, but we're getting there. We're almost there. So there you have it. That is our coffee break studio. We've really enjoyed putting the whole thing together. It's been a lot of work, but we're really looking forward to getting some videos filmed in here. And we hope that you enjoy with the live videos and our recorded videos that we're planning to film in our new coffee break kitchen studio, if you like.
Happy coffee breaking indeed, and welcome to our new studio. Welcome to this week's coffee break catch-up. Sorry about the technical problems there that we had. There's a lot going on today. We have got a lot of new things to deal with, but we're delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be joined by Francesca.
Ciao a tutti, ciao Mark.
Come stai?
Bene, grazie. Tu?
Sì, adesso bene.
Ok.
10 minuti fa?
Un
no.
po' stressato,
Sì.
ma...
Now this is an Italian special today, but it's not only about Italian. Obviously, we're going to be doing our usual catch-up. We're going to be sharing the news about Coffee Break, and our talking point this week, of course, will be about Italian. So if you have any Italian questions, then let us know. We'll be delighted to do our best to answer them. Let us know where you're watching, so it would be great to see some comments and to see some hellos, and we'll be happy to say hello to you very soon. So what is coming up in this week's show? Well, as you can imagine, let me just move here. We've got our coffee break news. We have our talking point, which is of course our Italian focus this week, and then our cultural roundup. And we are going to be sharing a number of things, but I do just need to double check that things are working and that you can actually see us on this camera, and that you can see us, let me see, in fact, if we go here, yep, and you can see us on this camera, which is over here, and you can see us on that camera there, and hopefully all will be working correctly as it should be. Right, let us move on first of all to our coffee break news. So I'll bring these slides back in and we will just go through our coffee break news. So this week we launched the sixth episode of the Coffee Break Italian magazine. Now this one's called Ti viene voglia di ballare?
Oh, sì.
Do you fancy a dance? Now this one, what's it about, Francesca?
It was about Tarantella.
Tarantella.
Sì.
So Tarantella, type of folk dance in
Sì.
Italy. So that episode is now available on the Coffee Break Italian feed, and we hope that you enjoy that one. Now, we've also been looking at some other things, and next week rather, we'll have our next episode of the Coffee Break French magazine, and we're looking forward to that too. So that's coming up on Monday. Now, we've had a bit of an Italian theme and also a dancing theme this week, because our Tune for Tuesday also involved something to do with dance. Pavarotti.
Pavarotti, sì.
Pavarotti, whose song La Danza was featured on our Tune for Tuesday feature. Now, of course, if you have not yet tuned into Tune for Tuesday, then you must do so, because that is providing opportunities for you to practice your listening and practice your language skills with a little bit of music. So that's Tune for Tuesday every Tuesday with a new tune, a new song. And this week, as I said, is a turn for Italian and Pavarotti. Okay, so moving on. Nope, that's the wrong slide. Moving on, we've got our question of the week, sticking this week with a musical theme. So our question of the week is, in Italian, qual è il tuo genere di musica preferito?
Oh.
Okay, in French, quel genre de musique aimes-tu? In German, was ist deine liebste Musikrichtung? And in Spanish, ¿qué tipo de música te gusta? So what kind of music do you like? And of course, our colleagues are there to answer the question. And you can also try answering the question either on Instagram or indeed on Facebook. And that way you can put your language skills into practice. So let us know how which type of music you enjoy listening to by answering the question over on Facebook or on Instagram. Okay, let us move on. What else have we got this week? Well, our 1 minute Portuguese course, and that is now available on YouTube. And this is European Portuguese, and you can learn the basics of Portuguese with our 1 minute course. So that is something definitely worth checking out if you are interested in learning some Portuguese. Moving on. And that is just a reminder about our coffee break masterclass. Now, the Spanish and the French masterclass are starting again very soon. They're going to be starting in October. So from the 1st of October, for 6 months, you can join the masterclass and become part of an intermediate group of students taking your French or your Spanish a stage further. Now, we don't yet have an Italian masterclass.
But
maybe in the future. Maybe that's what's coming. But for now, our French and Spanish masterclasses start again at the beginning of October. So if you would like to find out more about the masterclass, then you can head over. Well, there's some more information. First of all, it's monthly modules, audio, video, and text resources, homework tasks, and personalised feedback, and is it Intermediate Learners Season 2 Plus. And if you'd like to find out more, head over to coffeebreakmasterclass.com. And there's also a place there where you can add in your email address, and we'll let you know the minute it's available for registration. The masterclass is limited. There's a limited number of people that can take part in each class. So if you are interested in taking part, then make sure you tune in. Make sure you check out the links very soon, because they're going to be going live very, very soon. Okay, let us move on. We'll come back to our slides here, and we will check out, a couple of dates for your diary. First of all, if you happen to be based in Scotland, then we are involved in the Making Languages Your Business conference at Strathclyde University. Are you involved in that at Strathclyde?
I'm sure I'll be there.
So that's on the 2nd of October. And another date for your diary, if you happen to be around Harvard University on the 11th of October, I'm going to be speaking at the Sound Education Conference. So if you are in the Boston area, then you can come and join me and other language podcasters at the Sound Education Conference at Harvard. I'm really excited about going to Boston because I've never been before.
Exciting.
And to looking around Harvard, and I'm also going to be in New York as well,
Wow.
a city I love. So if you are around the Boston, the Cambridge area for the 11th of October, then you would be perhaps interested in coming along to that conference there, the Sound Education Conference at Harvard. One final date for your diary before we move on to our main topic for today, and that is the 18th of October. On the 18th of October, we are having a special event. Not a physical event, but a virtual event, and that will, of course, be on YouTube, on Facebook, and on our site. And you can join us for this special event because I think it will be well worth your time to join us there. Francesca knows what's happening, but she can't see anything. Okay, so that is basically the news for this week. We hope that we have covered everything that you need to know there. Let us now continue on with our talking point this week, which of course is our Italian focus. Allora, adesso parliamo un po' in italiano.
Oh, che bello!
Se avete domande, potete fare queste domande e
Sì.
Francesca vi risponderà.
Ovviamente, sono
Ok.
felice di rispondere, se sono in grado, alle vostre domande, certo.
So if you do have any Italian questions, any questions about the Italian language, any questions about a grammar topic, any questions about vocabulary, or even tips for learning,
Sì.
anything at all, we will be very happy to answer them. Now, I do see that we've got a few hellos and a few questions coming in already.
Oh.
So let me see if I can work my buttons here and come over to this camera. So let's take a look. Okay, so we will go up here. What I'm going to do is go straight to our first question from James Paul. So James Paul is saying, I know you use del, dello, dei, etc. as some, but how does di work in other ways? For example, ho bisogno di cibo, or is it ho bisogno del cibo? Equally, is it un paio di biscotti or dei biscotti? So I think we're looking at the use of di, whether it's when you put di combined into something, or whether you're looking at it as a partitive article.
Okay, good question.
A very good question, yes. So, Francesca, what do you think about this? Is this a straightforward thing?
I always need some time to think about it, but I would say as a general rule, just use di without the article.
Okay.
Unless you're talking about a specific thing, then I would add the article.
Okay.
So, for example, ho bisogno di aiuto, I need help in general. Ma ho bisogno della tua tazza. This is a specific
thing.
Sì, and it's also la tua tazza, so you need to combine it with the possessive adjective, la tua.
So when you're not using the article in Italian, you wouldn't obviously need to use the partitive article, you would just use di. Ho bisogno di aiuto, as you said, but ho bisogno della tua tazza.
Sì.
Okay. We hope that answered James Paul's question. Okay, let's see if we've got any more here. So we'll just come back here, and we've got some questions or some answers about what your favourite type of music is. Right, here's an interesting question. I hope you're okay with this one. Rafael is asking, qual è l'origine di Ferragosto?
Sì, Ferragosto, mamma mia, che bello Ferragosto, un giorno bellissimo.
Do you want to take this one?
Well, first of all, I hope everyone knows what Ferragosto is. It's like a national holiday in the middle of the summer in Italy on the 15th of August. I had a very nice Ferragosto this year myself. And Ferragosto dates back to the days of the Roman Empire, and it's actually Augustus, I'm not sure in English, Augustus,
yeah.
Who invented, let's say, this occasion, this festivity. So it's a Latin word, actually, which continued over the centuries. And nowadays, in theory, it's a religious festivity, but in reality, it's just a big occasion for everyone to go to the seaside or to the mountains. So that's the explanation in short, let's say. I hope it makes sense.
Well, Raphael, we hope that helps you in the understanding what Ferragosto is all about. We've got another question here, so let's have a look. Grace, who is asking, can you explain the difference between cosa and quale? Is it like what versus which in English?
Yes, more or less.
A quick answer.
You've answered the question yourself. Yes, I would say so.
So can you give us some examples of a question starting with cosa? Because cosa can replace che cosa or che.
Or che, see, that's a regional difference. In the north, I think we tend to say cosa or che cosa, and in the south it's more common che è instead of che cos'è or cos'è. While quale is like in English, which. Qual è il tuo colore preferito? Which is your favorite color?
And the suggestion there is that it's from a range of colours.
Yes.
So qual è il tuo colore preferito?
Sì.
Because I suppose there are infinite colours.
Sì.
But let's say there is a range of colours, and therefore quale is asking from which one of those in that range that you like best.
Sì.
But when you're asking, what is something, when you're saying, what cos'è questa tazza?
Sì.
So
che cos'è questo oggetto?
Well, yeah, that's probably makes more sense. A silly example there from me. But yeah, so in that case, it's what is, and it's very direct question. So yeah, there you go, the difference between cosa and quale. We had another question earlier today by email. Someone replied to the email that we sent out to say that this was happening. And the question that we had was the difference between qui and qua. I like this one. Take it away. Okay. There's your camera there.
Qui and qua, don't worry, they're usually used as synonyms. All Italians use them as synonyms. But if you want to be really, really precise, we could say that qui is slightly closer to the speaker and it's in a way more precise, while qua has that nuance of being a little bit more vague in terms of space. But they both mean here, and they're both close to the person who is speaking. So if I say vieni qui, is kind of more precise in terms of the space. Vieni qua is slightly more vague, but it's really, really a subtle nuance.
So there you go, qui and qua. If you're learning Spanish, it's similar with the difference between aquí and acá. And then also with Spanish, you have allí and allá. Do you have a similar
in Italian, lì e là.
Of course, yes.
Sì,
so
sì.
lì, there, and là.
Sì, sì.
Kind of
but they tend to
precise.
be used as synonyms.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So thank you, Grace, for your question, and thank you indeed to the person who wrote in the qui and qua difference earlier. We've got another question here from Doris. So Doris is saying, I'm learning Italian with you guys. Thank you, grazie mille.
Brava.
And I'm having a hard time understanding when to use ne. Can you help me understand it? So ne is a tricky word. These little words are very tricky.
We have talked extensively about ne in season 2 of Coffee Break Italian.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what stage Doris is at. So if you've not yet reached season 2, Doris, then it's definitely worth sticking at it and reaching ne there. But can you give us some simple examples of when we use ne?
See, ne is used to replace an object, a grammatical object in the sentence, whenever there is reference to quantity. For example, the typical example is in the shop. Vorrei delle carote. I would like some carrots. And the shopkeeper could say, quante ne vuole?
So how many of them do you want?
Sì.
So the ne is replacing the object, but it's the of the quantity.
Exactly.
How many of them do you want? Also, we can think about when you're asking a question about what do you think about something.
Sì, that's the other function of ne, replacing a verb followed by preposition di. Ad esempio, parlo spesso di Mark. I often talk about Mark. Ne parlo sempre con I miei amici. I often talk about him with my friends.
I hope it's all good.
All good.
So ne there, a lovely, useful little word. I think we've got time for one more question, and I'm putting Francesca, well, I'm not putting Francesca on the spot. Raphael is putting Francesca on the spot here. Raphael's asking, what is the longest word in the Italian language? Do you know?
Maybe it's Precipitevolissimevolmente.
Wow. So let's go through that slowly.
Precipitevolissimevolmente, which means very, 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 very quickly.
I'll try it. Precipitevolissime volmente.
Mente,
Wow.
bravissimo.
No, see it
I'm
really
not
quickly.
sure that's the right answer, but it's very long.
It is a long word, yeah. We've got another couple of questions here. James is asking, will there be a Coffee Break Italian masterclass? Yes, at some point there will be. We're not bringing that out anytime soon. At the moment, we're really focusing on the magazine, and the magazine is very much a continuation of season 2. We've had a number of questions about when is season 3 coming, but ultimately, season 2 was where Francesca and I talked about Italian texts, and then we did some language learning and so on, and that's ultimately what the magazine is doing as well. So with the magazine, we're focusing on cultural issues, and this goes also for French and German magazines. And we're really trying to develop or help you develop your vocabulary and your understanding of grammar, because seeing examples in the real text is so useful. So yes, there will be an Italian masterclass at some point. We're not launching it in October. A couple of other questions. People are coming in with the questions. I think we have to stop with the questions, but let's. This is an interesting one from Malin. I think Malin's from Sweden, so thank you, Malin. Jättebra. In Italian writing, I keep seeing E with an apostrophe, and to me it looks like it's being used both for and with an acute accent. I see it especially in handwriting, but also in print. I would appreciate any explanation.
Sì.
Buona domanda.
Sì, una domanda, la risposta è un po' lunga, but to cut a long story short, in school we're not formally taught accents in Italy, so we tend just to put a half moon on top of letter E. Yeah. But now, at least when I was a student in primary school, because there were no computers, so you can tell how old I am. But nowadays with computers, it's very important to know whether an accent is grave or acute. So words like, for example, perché require an acute accent, while verb to be require a grave accent. So it's really a matter of learning which kind of accents different words require. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've seen many examples of it. Just when you don't have those accents on the typewriter or something like that, you just put the little the apostrophe in there. Mario Casar is asking, personal pronouns are used with reflexive verbs like mi vestito and verbs like piacere, like mi piace. Are there other verbs which would be preceded by the personal pronouns?
The reflexive pronoun, I think.
Right, so there's personal pronouns, which would be like direct object and indirect object pronouns, where you could use me, but you would also use me as a reflexive pronoun. So, do you want to explain a little bit about
I'm not really sure about the question. Are there other verbs which be preceded by... I think, like, mi piace, for example, mi sembra, it seems to me. I think that's the question that Mario is asking.
Perhaps it's useful to think about mi piace and mi sembra as different me from mi vesto or mi chiamo or whatever. Because that me means myself, but when you say mi piace, it means to me.
To me, or mi sembra, it seems to me, as in English.
So you've got to be careful exactly what you're translating in English to get to that me in Italian. But it's a very good question. We've got one question here that I'm just going to put on the screen because I don't think we're going to put Italian Francesca on the spot here. A challenge: explain Italian government. Thanks, Jeff, for that one. I don't think we're going to answer that one today because we do have a limit on the amount of time that we can spend on this. Okay, thank you very much for your questions. We've got lots of hellos there. We will cover those hellos in just a moment, but for now it's time to move on to another part of the show, and that is, if I can get these slides up, and I know unfortunately they're in the wrong order, so I need to bring the order back. So we'll quickly go through this, pretend you didn't see that. First of all, our Facebook reviews. our reviews in general. We love hearing from learners and hearing what you find useful and what you enjoy about our courses. And so if you are willing to post a Facebook review or a review on the podcast app that you use, or indeed a review on a new site called Podchaser, which is where it's like a kind of directory. It's billing itself as the directory of podcasting moving forward. So if you did want to leave a review there, that would be great. Let's take a quick look at a couple of reviews. That's the wrong set of slides. Here we go. A couple of reviews that we've had this week. So first of all, this is on Facebook from Pete. They do a great job of understanding the construct of the language so that you apply it properly as you learn new words and phrases. Their style is very warm and friendly and, in my opinion, aids with the learning and retention. Thank you very much, Pete.
Oh, grazie.
That's a lovely comment there. Another Italian review. This one is from someone in the Coffee Break Academy who's using our premium materials. And Heather says, Buongiorno, I am loving my premium subscription to CBI. I'm up to lesson 20 in season 1 and feel that I will be able to get by nicely when I leave for my first trip to Italy later this month. Still loads to learn, of course, but I can at least show the Italians that I'm trying, and it's such a beautiful language.
Well done.
We would certainly not disagree with that, Heather. It is indeed a beautiful language, and it is wonderful to try and use it, because I think it does make such a difference when you're speaking to locals. Okay, let us look at another review. This is an interesting one, because this came through on Apple Podcasts. And I'm going to read it in full here because I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding here from A Tale of Two Kitties, who is in the US. So A Tale of Two Kitties said, I really want to give this podcast 5 stars, but I'm finding that after about 3 or 4 episodes, the pace totally changed and got overwhelming. It was so thorough and paced well at the beginning, but then all of a sudden I'm listening to full conversations and I'm missing 80% of what they're saying, only to have a fraction of it explained. Now, I think because the reason for this is because you are not following those episodes in turn. All of our episodes start at the very beginning, and if you follow them in turn through season 1, then season 2, and now into the magazine, then you will get the presentation of the language in a progressive way. We definitely don't make big jumps from one episode to the next. Obviously, seasons get more difficult as time goes on. So I would definitely, A Tale of Two Kitties, I would definitely look into this further, because I think you're not possibly following the order of lessons correctly. Or perhaps your podcast app just downloaded certain episodes. You need to go back and look at the whole series. One of the segments in the 5th episode starts talking about present subjunctive and giving nuances therein. I'm bummed because people on the podcast seem lovely, but I got super discouraged. So again, we would never talk about the subjunctive in lesson 5 of our course. Maybe lesson 105.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out and make sure that you're listening to the individual episodes there. I just wanted to share that one. Okay, one more review, and that is Alison, who is in Korea, and she said, thank you so much for your passionate podcast. This is Coffee Break Chinese this time. I truly appreciate your time and effort. It's simply 非常好. Thank you very much. 谢谢你, Alison. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, it is time now for our cultural review of the week. As usual, we try to give some tips for cultural things that are happening in the course of the coming week. And the way to find out more about this is get access to our newsletter. The cultural tips that we're suggesting all come with texts about the places or the events that are happening. So let's take a quick look at what we've got for you this week. We'll move on there from Alison. We're starting in Italy with the Volto Santo in the town of
Lucca, in Toscana.
In Toscana. Now, Lucca is very close to, it's the kind of main town beside the little village Barga, where my family's from, and many people, certainly in Scotland, are from Barga. And Lucca is a beautiful city. It's a town. It's a large town.
But worth seeing.
Yeah. So the Volto Santo is happening in Lucca on the 13th of September, if you want to know about it. And there's a little clue there. In the little image that you see there beside it, it's a little candle, then you can get all the information in our newsletter. Moving on to Spain, we're going to Tarragona, which is a beautiful city on the east coast of Spain, south of Barcelona, And the Santa Tecla Festival is happening starting on the 14th of September. Then moving to Germany, we've got a theatrical and musical festival in Düsseldorf from the 12th to the 29th, and the Festival d'Automne in Paris from the 10th of September, the Autumn Festival. So if you would like to find out more about all of these, then all you need to do is subscribe to our newsletter. And in the newsletter, we'll send you links not only for these, but all the other links that we've shared for our new episodes and from our new videos and so on. They'll all be in the newsletter. The newsletter goes out on a Friday morning, so you'll be able to get that tomorrow. And the links for those festivals will be in there. And there's always an article in English about them and also an article in the language that you're learning. So a good way to do some reading practice and build your confidence in the language. È quasi tutto per oggi.
Wow, quante informazioni!
Molte informazioni. Allora, adesso ci sono qualche ciao, no?
Vediamo.
Okay, we've got Grace who's saying salve a tutti da Washington. So Grace joining us from Washington.
Ciao, Grace.
We've got Mario who's saying ciao Mark, Francesca and all the team. Who else do we have? We've got Hazel. Sono qui, Hazel. Ciao, Hazel.
Ciao.
Ilya is joining us too. Thank you, Ilya. We've got Ada or Aida,
Okay.
who's saying il mio tipo di musica favorita è tango.
Wow.
Muy bien. Malin is saying, see, pretty please for an Italian masterclass. Well, watch this space.
Speriamo.
Hazel saying, mi piace la musica rock.
Uh.
Benissimo. Trevor is saying, ciao from Cambridge in the UK. Barbara's joining us. Ciao, Barbara.
Ciao.
Abbiamo il sole in Idaho. Okay,
Oh,
good to know.
invidia.
And Barbara likes the new studio. I'll tell you a little more about the new studio in just a minute. We've got Anita joining us from Oregon. James Paul from the Isole Normanne. Cosa sono?
Non lo so. Isole Normanne.
I'm not sure where they are, but we are delighted that you're here. What are the Channel Islands in French? In Italian? Putting you in the spot, sorry.
Sì,
We'll find that out. If you're in the Channel Islands, you're very welcome. Barbara's commenting the nuovo studio. We'll talk about that in a moment. Solbrit is saying ciao dalla Svezia. Ciao. We've got Jeff and his political question there joining us from Gainesville. Anne is joining us from Kenya.
Wow,
Fantastic, Anne. Thank you.
bello.
Zoltan saying ciao a tutti. Rafael is asking us about Ferragosto. Elena is joining us from Luxembourg. I think.
Abbiamo salutato tutti.
Credo di sì. Oh, Gord is saying happy to see you live. Greetings from West Kelowna, British Columbia in Canada, home to the Ciao Bella Winery, the best Italian
Ciao, bella
winery in
winery.
Canada.
Voglio andare.
Joseph's saying the course helped me tenfold in language learning during my Erasmus year in Ferrara.
Oh.
Thank you, that's great. Mario's saying thank you for your explanation to my complex question. Oh, Rafael has another question.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's not politics. Can you recommend any Italian cartoons that can be watched on YouTube that would help us learn Italian too?
Non lo so, è difficile. Now they all watch Peppa Pig in
Peppa
all
Pig.
possible languages. So there is also Peppa Pig in Italian dialects.
Excellent. I remember when I was small, when I was a child, and we went to Italy for the first time. We loved the Heidi cartoon.
Ah, sì.
And there was the music from it. Heidi, il tuo nido sui monti. So you can find Heidi. It's obviously quite a traditional cartoon.
Sì,
But I
sì.
actually think, I may be wrong about this, but I think it was possibly like a kind of Japanese animation of it.
They're normally Japanese, like
Because
in
of the
Italy.
style, the kind of almost manga style.
Yeah.
So definitely look for the original, and I'm talking in the 80s here. In fact, I've heard kind of up-to-date versions of the theme music as well, which are quite fun. So yeah, maybe look for Heidi. I'm sure you'll find Heidi on YouTube. That will help you learn. James is confirming that he is in fact from Jersey.
Ah.
So thank you, James, for that. Vero is saying she lives in Montreal. Anna, piacere di vedervi. Isole della Manica. So,
Okay.
so we've learned something today. Thank you, James, for sharing that. And Anna is joining us from Venezuela. She's saying,
Hola.
mi piacciono moltissimo I vostri podcast. Grazie mille, muchísimas gracias. Well, that
Wow.
I think is where we're going to leave it today because we've got lots more to do here. This new studio, as we say, is just the start because we're really excited about going to be filming lots of new content here. Not just the live stuff, because obviously the live stuff is that bit more stressful. Things go wrong, as you saw earlier. But we're really pleased to be sharing our new studio with you. With our shelves, and there'll be different things on the shelves from time to time and so on. In fact, let me just come out. No, wrong one. I've pressed the wrong button. Not to worry. So yeah, we're looking forward to recording more videos in here, and videos for Coffee Break Italian, but also for all of our other shows. We'll be back, I think, next week, although it's possible that we will be taking 1 week off of the catch-up. We'll confirm that later in the week because there's some other things happening next week that we need to focus on. But for now, I think we need to say grazie mille.
Sì, grazie mille per I commenti, I saluti, la partecipazione.
Esatto. Thank you very much for your patience also with the little technical bits and pieces that went wrong. But we will be back next time with another episode.
Sì.
But for now, we always finish with a foreign language thank you and goodbye. And because we've got Portuguese in 1 minute language this week, I think we'll do that in Portuguese.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So, maybe I did that last week in Portuguese. I can't remember. I've kind of lost track. No, I think I did it in Flemish last week. Anyway, Portuguese. Muito obrigado. Até logo. Obrigado. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.